LeFou, Channel 4, Channel 347, Runnymede Eco Village. And you see the old building here, that's used to be owned by the Chilsmore family, who, you know, there's a possible case that it's the family that own the National Trust land that surrounds this place, which is just one of the reasons actually that we know we're not actually hurting or interfering with anyone else's life at the moment. And the building work that they're doing here, you can see through there that they're pulling down the old university buildings, and you know, they won't have anything going for at least 5 years yet. When we first got here, there was no plans for the land we're on. In fact, they'd kind of written them off. That's changed now. I'm going to sit in the old mother tree, but this is a kind of call out really for, you know, the world's changing, right? We know the world is changing. I'm sure every child at school and every parent concerned for the future will get this one, right? We have been here now for 3 years, and the idea we have here is to start a village which is completely off-grid, self-sustaining, grow our own vegetables and provide our own energy. And we are not next to another community yet, but the building here is for private houses for the retired and the rich, because we're in the land of, as you know, we're in the land of the Windsors. Another reason that this is very poignant, this protest, because it's going to become a protest, and it is a protest, it always was a protest. Another reason for the poignancy, but have a look at this tree. It's a really old tree, it's a beautiful tree. Look at this way it goes up. I'll tell you more about that another time. Another reason for the protest is the Magna Carta. They're celebrating, did you know this, 800 years of the Magna Carta celebrations. But you've got to understand the Magna Carta, to understand it, you've got to understand that what they're celebrating is the fact that the barons took control 800 years ago, and they gave you democracy. The barons gave you democracy. They still give you democracy. You think you're free, but basically the rich, you know, the richest people are the people with the money who decide, you know, the future. So I'm not going to go into this now, because the point is, what I really want you to do is, for all those people who know that we're entering a world of change, this represents a fight really, because we're really saying we should be putting some money, something aside into the future, sustainable living. We know the world has to change. We know it. Everybody knows this. We know it's corrupt. It tells you in the papers every day. The system is corrupt. We know it's going to change sometime. And this is one of those key moments that, you know, could herald something in. You know, Russell Brand talking about a revolution. Well, you know, we're in the hills fighting for an understanding, real understanding of what it is to own land. And I'm not going to talk about ownership of land, but with a tiny little bit of philanthropy, we could develop something here which is going to enlighten you on the future of everything. Because you know, there's never been a time, right? There's never ever been a time when the whole of your, you know, food intake comes in on planes and ends up in the high street, where, you know, at the flick of a switch, with 3 days of no planes coming through, everyone's going to be running around, where's the food? Well, it's going to be gone, because most of the food comes in to the supermarkets. Everybody shops in supermarkets these days, and that food isn't, mostly not grown here. It's coming in from somewhere else. That won't be here. Even the local food won't be here, because there'll be no transport. This is one switch, more or less. There's no backup plan. They haven't got a backup plan. If it goes off for 3 days, and it went off for 3 days last year when the volcano erupted in Iceland, do you remember? Well, you know, you're going to realise at that point that life isn't quite as simple as you think. And what we're actually doing here is something that's future. You know, why isn't there any money spent by the government on the future when, you know, how much money goes into the military? The land and the manufacture of arms. How much? Bucket loads. You don't know how much goes into that. It's bucket loads of money. And it's like, we're quite happy to spend money on wars, killing each other, but nothing on the future. And there's actually a good argument about land here that people should really understand as being one of the key points for the future of where we're all going. And what I want you to do is go home, tell your kids, tell your family, and come and support us down here at Runnymede to make sure they don't evict us. They're going to find it really difficult anyway. The more people are here, the more people supporting us, the more that they'll realise that evicting us ain't going to work. It's not going to work because it's too big. There's too many acres here. There's beautiful country here, and you know, we're actually not near another community. We're not disturbing anyone apart from the builders, but they're disturbing us. We want support from all over the country. Children, you know, from classes, parents, bring your children down and walk through the woods and support us, right, when they come to evict us, because we're doing no harm to no one. And they want us off. We've been here 2 years and we're still surviving. We're not, as, you know, might well be claimed, a bunch of fucking hippies. We're people trying to live off-grid. In the word of Prince Charles, you know, self-sustaining permaculture. He supports that, doesn't he? It's exactly what we're doing. It's equivalent to the Eden Project. It could become beautiful here, and a beacon of light upon how easy it is actually to live away from the infrastructure that most people live by. And you know, I'm sure people will be interested to know how we've got a spring here. We don't use water from the system. We drink out of the spring. We've been doing this for 2 years. No one has died. No one's been ill. Because there's water that comes untreated straight through from the field of birth. Luckily, there's no farming or anything, so the water's clean. I mean it. Go and tell everybody. Come down to Runnymede, you know, because if you only just come down and see it, because we're right next to your history, where they kind of claimed 800 years ago, nearly, that, you know, they'd done us all a great service. Well, you know, another look at the Magna Carta and you'll understand it wasn't quite what it seems. It's more about rent collecting. And that hasn't changed, has it? Who owns land? Show me the contract between the land and the person, the first one, then I might believe you. Right? They take me to court, I'm going to point that out. I don't recognise the court system. Anyway, I'm going to go because I'm kind of annoying you, aren't I? Come down. Runnymede Eco Village. Look it up. It's on the web.